Oh, okay, we're on. All right, thank you. This is Dr. Hauser. This is a 3DO game. This is exclusive to 3DO in Japan, and this is the first ever fully 3D survival horror game. And I know some of you are going to be like, but Alone in the Dark, but don't worry, we'll get into that, and you'll see why that is.
Ooh, mystery.
This is also developed by Riverhillsoft, which some of you may recall from the Overblood series on PlayStation 1. This is also the first game, well, maybe not first, I can't remember fully, but it is, the main programmer is Akihiro Hino, as you may recall, is the president of Level 5. So this is a cool little fact for you. So I'm not going to let you watch the whole first opening cutscene here, but you just got to know that the story is the story of the reporter Adler. He spends his life's work reporting on the famed archaeologist Dr. Hauser, and he's turned up missing. Dr. Hauser is missing, and he sets out to his last known whereabouts to find out what happened to Dr. Hauser. So now that you've seen the little newspaper clippings, we're going to get ready here. Make sure my timer is ready to go. The story is definitely a good sort of, it's got a good climax to it, so make sure you hang in there. The run's pretty short, so here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the creepy mansion, by the way, that Dr. Hauser was last seen at, and we are going to investigate, find out what happened to him. Alrighty, so here's Adler. That is a button buffer. You can buffer buttons ahead up to like 2 minutes ahead of time in this game. So you're going to see me make little mistakes like that here and there. So we first come in, and I'll leave it up to you to figure out if Adler didn't notice the chandelier falling. Maybe it was just a little accident, or was it on purpose? He doesn't think too much of it, though. But since this is a survival horror game, of course the first thing that we're going to do is pick up a key from a clock, because it would not be survival horror without picking up a key from a clock and then having the room transform and grow. And do not adjust your stream settings. This is the game's frame rate. I will leave it
I,
up to you what the frames per second are in this game.
I think even back in the AOL era, I probably would have been annoyed at this frame rate.
But there's a good reason for it. The first fully 3D survival horror game. And I'll find a better room to kind of like show as an example for what that actually entails. So you're probably like, well, what about Alone in the Dark? Well, Alone in the Dark had pre-rendered backgrounds, whereas Dr. Hauser, everything is in 3D polygons. And just to show you here real quick, so for example, you can play this game with a top-down view in about 2 frames per second. You can also play in first person, also not as smooth, which is why I play with this camera angle. And to avoid a trap of which would have killed me with deadly poisonous gas, I have to put a flower in the flower pot to make sure that I am not killed in the most grisly and gruesome way possible. And then we go through the portrait of a flower. So, this game, when it comes to the speedrun, is very clunky. The controls are way worse than you could have ever imagined. Take the tank controls that you know from Resident Evil and just imagine the absolute worst possible scenario for controlling with lag and input delay and button buffering that can persist from room to room. It's horrible. Like right there, you see me do a little lean forward. What that actually means is I mistakenly buffered a button that I should not have hit before going through the door, so it carried over into the next room, which was the animation button, or the examine button. So when he does that little lean forward, like he's getting to be 90 years old, kind of crouching over, that just means that I mistakenly buffered a button, which happens more than you would think.
Well, I mean, the buttons that you pressed about 2 minutes ago should be kicking in right now, right?
About we joke about that, but I am actually going to buffer a button about a minute and a half ahead later in the run.
It's all for strategy's sake, then.
Now, we've gone on key hunts, and we can't get through this door without the red key. No, I don't want to look at the red key. I want to use the red key, please. Come on, game. Use. There we go. And now for one of my favorite puzzles. Pushing the table off of the invisible switch. Without even touching the table, by the way.
Ooh. So hey, the hitboxes in this game are kind of like the other ones.
Seems like I have something for games with really horrible hitboxes. And now, since this is a marathon, Dr. Hauzer, or rather Adler, you will totally grab this dresser and not make me lose precious time here. You will totally grab this dresser and pull it. Thank you. That's always one of the worst parts of the run right there. Gotta make sure I pull it far enough back with just my one hand. Alrighty, and we're through the door. He's very picky when it comes to pulling that dresser. Cutscenes in Dr. Hauzer. Uh-oh. Things are awry. What is that?
Uh-oh. Dun,
A
dun,
giant
dun.
boulder. Make a run for it. Just dodging out of the way. Alright, now things are getting weird. Like, what is going on? At this point, Adler is thinking to himself, what's going on? I'm here to find out what happened to Dr. Hauzer, but what are all these traps? You know, he's trying to kill me.
It's actually Indiana Jones's house.
Yes, exactly. Why is there a boulder in here? But we're going to find out that Adler is still one of the kindest and most pure-hearted characters in a video game ever in this next room. Now, this is a pretty cool little puzzle, and I'm going to have to play this really carefully. I have to push this table into a very specific location. And this is one of the few instances where the run could die if I am not careful here, so I'm going to really take my time. Come on. Okay. As it falls in slow motion. Alright, now we cross. If I do not put it in that specific spot, it will not work. And this cabinet here, as it opens 2 frames per second, we get an axe. If I were to open it from the front cupboard, it would actually cut my head off. In a very goofy cutscene. But look at this! I mean, everything in this mansion is out to kill this guy, and he's still courteous enough to close the cabinet door. I mean, oh, okay, I almost fell off there. That would have been bad. The controls in this game, as they would have it, are a little clunky. But he still closes the door. I mean, what a nice guy.
He's super polite. I wish I knew somebody like him.
Okay, we're going to come down here, and we're going to grab a candlestick. Of course, with the key that I picked up. So you're probably wondering like what kind of game this actually is normally if you're not speedrunning it. It's sort of open-ended. You're sort of meant to explore this mansion leisurely, and you find way more items that are not required for the speedrun, but it leads to clues as to what's going on. The speedrun obviously cuts out all the needless stuff. But I am not going to be cutting out this needless cutscene, because this I present to you, everybody. Climbing stairs in Dr. Hauzer. Enjoy. Eat your heart out, Resident Evil fans. This is skippable, but I feel like this is part of the experience.
No, I would feel like I was losing something if I wasn't watching this right now.
30 full seconds of stair climbing. Alrighty. Now, once again, because this is survival horror, we are going to go collect some essential survival horror items, of which you will find out the use for soon enough. First, a lighter. Second, a crowbar. And last but not least, the most exciting of them all, a shotgun. You're all probably wondering, where's the combat in this game? Well, you're going to find out what that shotgun is for, and also when the combat comes into play with Dr. Hauzer. Quote-unquote combat. Now, I treated you to the stairs. Will I be so evil as to make you watch this ladder climb? Yes, I will. I actually
Not
don't.
evil. You're just trying to fulfill our dreams and hopes.
I actually don't know how this will eat into my estimate, but it'll be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, I haven't watched this in so long. I forgot how long this was. It's part of the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
Almost there. Now we got to turn around. I'm not doing. This is a cutscene, by the way. I'm not controlling this. All right, now to get through one of the most complex rooms in the game, all you have to do is just come over here to this hidden door. There's a lot of stuff to examine in there, but we know where to go right away. And I will save you the agony this time. Gasp! It's Dr. Hauzer. He's a ghost. Oh boy, the story's getting interesting now. What could that possibly mean? Well, let me explain things a little bit more to you. Once I'm done using the crowbar to mistakenly select the shotgun, because menu lag in this game is ridiculous. Okay, so as you watch this glorious cutscene, we are starting to find out clues. Dr. Hauzer is dead. Why that is? Well, we're gonna have to find out. Why is he in ghost form? Why is he trying to kill everybody that comes into this mansion?
The world may never know.
Oh, we will find out.
Oh, good.
Alright, so first, candlestick. Because obviously this is way too creepy for us to go down without light. Even though it's just a straight hallway. And that's it. Survival horror games, in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Or more so, adventure game logic as well. Alright, get ready. Shotgun time. This is why we have the shotgun. You know, despite having a giant axe in our inventory, no, we gotta shoot this green pane of glass with style. And that's it. That's the only use for the shotgun in the game. Uh-oh, what is this? A dead body, gasp! That's one of Dr. Hauzer's archaeologists. So Dr. Hauzer actually hired 2 archaeologists to come and help him dig holes underneath this mansion. And one of them is dead in the hallway.
Is that a bite taken out of his side?
Yeah, Dr. Hauzer gets a little hungry.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, now this room is actually pretty scary. I should have made a safety save before coming in here, but we're going to risk it. So I found a tech for this room where if you just hug the right wall here, the axes, despite coming completely in contact with my head, will never kill me. And I'm totally not going to jinx that right now, because this has never failed me before. I'm just going to take it nice and slow. Normally you're supposed to go through this room, like go into the top-down view, go nice and slow. But I found that by just hugging the wall there, it cuts down on a bunch of time. And we're just going to open the door from the absolute wrong side. And continue on. Because this game is all about collecting keys. What survival horror game wouldn't? Alright, now this part here, I actually am going to make a safety save here, because just to be safe. Okay. So, this is not a glitch. Oh! Okay, I forgot that little cutscene has to play first. Okay. Oh, jeez, he actually jumped on it. Okay. We're gonna take this the safe way, actually. That scared... I'm really glad I safety saved before that. So, normally I mash the run button across there, and he sort of does this little moonwalk. I'll try and show it off when I come out. That makes it look like he's sliding across that. So, it sort of looks like this. So, I'll try and show that off when I get out outside. But that's just a glass floor.
It's like the leap of faith in Last Crusade.
I would love to show the death animations off to everybody in this, but unfortunately doing that requires dying and reloading, but the death animations in this game are absolutely glorious. You should check out a YouTube video of them sometime. Somebody probably has it uploaded. Okay, there we go.
Whee!
All of this is to come into this room and deactivate a trap in the room that I'm going to be going to after. I gotta talk to this bookcase 4 times to deactivate the trap. And it's also the best death animation in this game. Pretty much you get the arrow shot into his head, and he's got that dumb surprised look face on him the whole time. It's like, for example, if I would have got hit by the axes, it's just a PogChamp head flying around on the screen. No blood, no gore. It's just so goofy looking. Alrighty, now that the trap is deactivated, we're going to come right over here and make use of the axe that I'm sure everybody's been on the edge of their seat wondering what I do with it. Well, as it turns out, all you do is you just put it on this hanger, and that's it. Opens up a secret door behind Dr. Hauzer's portrait. A very young, pretty good looking Dr. Hauzer there, if I say so myself. But he's no longer with us. He's ascended into the other realm. He's a ghost. Alright, so now we're getting into the end game here. Of course, I am not really sure how Adler knows to go into this closet and also why he would need dynamite. But yeah, for whatever reason, we know to come into this completely empty closet, except for this stick of dynamite. What are we going to be using that for? Well, getting towards the end. Soon all the mysteries will be unveiled to all of you.
On the edge of my seat.
Okay, if I can examine this. We get a picture of Dr. Hauzer's wife. And in typical survival horror fashion, there's of course a hidden door behind this giant sliding fireplace. How we could not have just crawled through the fireplace itself? Oh, okay, apparently it's got bricks in behind. And we're going down. Now things start getting creepy, and the story, I will soon reveal more for you. We fall. We skip that cutscene. Any day now. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Of course, that's a button buffer there. So that button was pressed like 40 seconds ago, and it come up now. Creepy music. Enjoy it, because it's going to be over in about 30 seconds. Another dead archaeologist. We grab a key. He seems to have been tortured, but let me reveal to you now what's going on. So, as it turns out, Dr. Hauzer's wife had died. He was so distraught, so sad. He needed to find a way to be with his wife in death. So, what that actually means, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to find out. However, he booby-trapped the entire mansion. Let me just make sure I'm not mismenuing here as I do this. He booby-trapped the entire mansion and had them dig under the mansion with his archaeologist, but he doesn't want anybody finding out about his secret. So anybody, even his archaeologist, he killed. Anybody that steps foot in this mansion, he does not want knowing about his quest to join his dead wife.
Wasn't he a ghost?
Yes, but there's more to it than that.
Oh, so it's not like, oh, okay, success.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, so let's go back in here. We blew up the wall. Dr. Hauzer also threatened there's a nearby university. He said if any university students came here looking for me, I would kill them too. Apparently that's part of the story of this game. Not actually told through what we see in the speedrun, but there's notes and documents. There's a little cutscene of us going down a minecart. And just to be extra safe, I'm going to do a safety save here. Typically nothing should ever go wrong here, but there's a slim chance I could mess this up. Okay, we gotta make sure I use the right key. Because this is the final door, the final boss, and I'm also going to menu buffer, so I hit start here. It's very important, keep that in mind. I press start here, this button buffer is going to carry over into when I regain gameplay in about a minute and a half. So, this is the big revelation. Some sort of monolith. Oh, it's Dr. Hauzer. He's like, you should have never come here. This is just sort of paraphrasing from what I remember. You should have never come here and disturbed me. I wanted to be with my wife. And what's this? He possesses the stone monolith, and it's now talking to us. Dr. Hauzer has become this piece which has told him to, in order to resurrect his wife, he needed to pretty much join her in death and blah 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 spiritual stuff. Yes, talking monolith. And it's saying all kinds of mean things to him, you know, telling him pretty much everything I've been summing up for you this entire time. In a very dark, demonous voice. And this goes on for about a minute and a half. Unskippable, unfortunately. Dr. Hauser's, Adler's really taking this in, by the way, if you can tell by his facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
This game is actually translated into English, but because I play on real hardware, I do not have an English patched or translated version of this game. But there are playthroughs on YouTube if you really wanted to see all the text and everything. It's in English if you so desire. Alrighty, so this is where the menu buffer is going to come into play. So that start button that I pressed so long ago. Okay, put the book up. Put the book up. There we go. That's why I safety save. Sometimes he's a little finicky with it. So we hold up a picture of his wife. And this is actually supposed to be like a bullet hell section of the game. Look, here's a top-down view for you. Here's the first-person view for you. Here's the normal view. Oh, goodness. Apparently going back into this view takes my button press down. And that's time. Throws the picture of his wife at him, and somehow that... with a very surprised face... with a very surprised face. That face always gets me. Defeats Dr. Hauzer. You know, everybody can make up their own minds whether or not Dr. Hauzer was justified in all of his actions. Once again, Indiana Jones, pretty much. But yeah, so pretty much to sum it up for you, wife dies, he decides to join her in the afterlife and turn into a ghost so he can possess this stone monolith, and he is able to join his wife. But, you know, it's sort of like in the spiritual afterlife thing, and, you know, he's so secretive and mean about it, he kills anybody that tries to find out his secret. This cutscene here is a little bit long. It's like a minute worth of kart riding. I don't know if we have time. We could actually watch the end cutscene, but if not, it's no problem.
It's like mode 7.
Pretty much. But he makes an escape. He gets out of there in this really, really long kart ride. Oh, we got time. Good. Because the end credit scene has little sort of outtakes from Dr. Hauzer. It's kind of fun.
Actually, hitting that wall and having all the wood break in front of you, that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, for 3DO, which is definitely not known for its FMV scenes, that basic little minecart ride was not terrible. And
no. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so what we're going to see here is they're going to sum up what happens at the end for us. And it might surprise some of you. After, of course, Dr. Hauzer's mansion collapses into the ground. But as it turns out, Adler, the reporter, the journalist that came here to investigate Dr. Hauzer, which I think I forgot to mention, but Adler actually makes his living off of reporting off of the archaeology of Dr. Hauzer. So this was actually really important to him, and the reason why he came all the way out here is because, well, his life's work was on the line if he didn't find out what happened to him. And he determines that everything that transpired in this mansion was just so far-fetched, so out there that nobody would ever believe him. He's not going to report on it. He's pretty much just going to leave it as, well, we never find out what happened to Dr. Hauzer. And that's that. Can you blame him, though?
Not really, no.
So yeah, that's Dr. Hauzer. We still got the little parody scenes coming up here during the credits, which are pretty fun. It's while the game is sort of made fun of for its poor frame rate and, you know, silly cutscenes, this was pretty cutting edge at the time. Don't forget, Alone in the Dark, while a lot of people draw parallels between these two games, Alone in the Dark did come 2 years before. Dr. Hauzer, which came out in 1994. Um, Alone in the Dark had the convenience of pre-rendered backgrounds, so they didn't have to worry about rendering entire rooms, all objects, everything in 3D, which is why the game does run at a relatively low frame rate. But you gotta give it to Riverhill Soft for trying to push the boundaries, and this is a very important piece of history for survival horror. You can actually kind of see some of, whether or not games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, whatever, like, we don't truly know if developers and which ones saw Dr. Hauser and drew inspiration from this game, but you can clearly see the early. Here's the little outtakes, by the way. Some rooms you haven't seen. That there would have resulted in a glorious death cutscene. But you can clearly see the inspirations for later games in the genre. Yeah, this is just a little preview. Man, I am really tempted to just load up a save and have the axe cut my head off just so people can see, but I'm not sure if I have that save ready.
The game makes fun of itself. That's fantastic.
Oh, they are clearly aware of the game they made here. They also show us once again the glorious ladder climb. They're showing us him having fun with the shotgun in the only instance in the game where it's used. More deaths. I can if we got like a minute or so, I can oh, and here's Dr. Hauser making funny faces for the camera here. I can check the saves I have. I have one save I can load and just see if it's in an area with a death scene, because the death scenes are so good in this. Will it make me reload my console though? I'm good? Okay, hold on. Quickly, I will turn my 3DO back on, and you can all get to see the glorious 3DO intro.
As quickly as we'll work with the frame rate, anyway.
We're ahead? Okay.
Yeah,
Kill
you're
a
fine.
little bit extra time for everybody. Show off the death scenes in Dr. Hauser. Thank you, by the way, for your added commentary. It made my 2 runs a heck of a lot more fun, so appreciate it.
Oh, I definitely enjoyed seeing 2 games I'd never even heard of, so I
I
believe
try
I
my
can speak for most
best.
people in the chat when thank you for
I typically try and submit games to marathons that have never pretty much been seen in marathons or by people in general, so. Okay, so let's load up one of my saves here and see see if I can find a death scene. Hopefully this doesn't put me back where I last saved. Okay, so let's see. Let's check. This save was made before the final door. Let me see where this one is. Hopefully this is the axe room. I really hope it's the axe room. This is the glass floor. But let me just backtrack a little bit. See if I can get back to the axe room. Testing my memory here and how to get there. Okay. Should be right here. I wish I could show the one with the arrow. Okay, so enjoy one of the death scenes in Dr. Hauser. what the? No gore whatsoever. Normally he actually has his mouth open like a PogChamp. I think that actually only happens on the room with the axe in the cupboard.
Wow.
Now let me see if I can just quickly show off the arrow death, because I'm pretty sure I'm right next to that room on this save as well.
It is nice that they let you save those so you don't have to redo everything every time.
Oh yes, it's a nice feature. So let's see. Hopefully this is before I solve this puzzle. This was my favorite death scene in the game. Okay, yes, good. Alright, get ready for this one. Arrow to the head. With his little death scream. So that's just a sample of some of the death scenes in Dr. Hauser. They are a real riot, let me tell you. There's more where that came from, but those are the 2 that I'm able to show everybody. So once again, thank you for having me out for Speedrun Ragnarok. Thanks for everybody for tuning in and watching and for donating. We're getting into the final day here. I think we're transitioning into the final day right now, right? So,
Just about, yeah.
and the goal of $10,000 has almost been met for Take This. So hopefully everybody continues to support and donate. And thank you again for having me. And good luck to the final runners.